apparently this isn't your first time at NAPE, but I would like to know how long you have been coming and what can NAPE do to help these efforts we've been talking about?
Well, you know, NAPE has an interesting history, and I've actually been around since the beginning. I was one of the co-founders of this event, and it was started, the idea was really developed in 1992 when the industry was at kind of the bottom of a down cycle. Things were extraordinarily difficult, capital wasn't available, and the industry was in fact struggling to survive. And the concept of NAPE, the original basic concept, was to create a central marketplace where industry companies could come and buy and sell deals. And most people thought it wouldn't work. In fact, some people referred to it as a starving artist sale. And they laughed. They said, no one will bring their deals. My boss at the time didn't think it would work, but he supported our efforts to create it. The first NAPE actually happened in April of 1993 and stunned everybody. It went well beyond everybody's expectations because not only did people come, and more people than was believed, but people brought real deals. They showed real information. Transactions were done. Money changed hands.
The real hookups happened.
It wasn't just people meeting and greeting and networking. It was people transacting business and making deals.
They took it to the next level.
And every year it continued to improve, continued to break records. And now it really is the event for the exploration production industry. It's the event that the professional people, the geoscientists, the engineers, and the land professionals, it's their deal. They are so excited when NAPE comes around. It's the thing they look forward to every year.
Lots of deals
transactions happen. Absolutely.
And lots of education too.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to have a few more politicians here so we could show them around and help educate them about what really happens.
I'll get right back to you on that one. And I will work on it, I promise.
Well, we'd love to have you come anytime.
You know what? Before we leave you today, though, I would like to know, in the context of America's security, how does Alaska play into that?
Well, actually, Alaska is a very important state and has a lot of energy, untapped energy, if we're allowed to access more of that.
Through the government.
Through the government, particularly ANWR. But one of the things that's interesting about Alaska, I mean, the North Slope in Prudhoe Bay, which you're very familiar with, you've got this huge amount of natural gas that's stuck up there, stranded natural gas, that someday really we need to bring down to the lower 48 and utilize it in some capacity. But there's also enormous resource potential in terms of oil prospectivity up there that the industry just doesn't have access to. One of the other interesting things about Alaska that you may not know is most people are very familiar with the major oil companies. It's where we buy our gasoline from every time we fill up our car. Most people aren't necessarily familiar with independents. Independents actually drill 90% of the wells in America. They produce 82% of the natural gas and 68% of the oil.
So they're a lot of them.
America's oil and gas producer.
No, I knew that.
Alaska has all of a sudden started attracting many independents. It used to be the majors' playground, and now you're seeing more independents go to Alaska.
That's because they had such a good governor.
That's apparently what it was. That's apparently what it was.
Great policies. So we do. We have to educate people. Alaska needs to be the great template that we laid down, infrastructure-wise, regulation-wise, government-wise, and show America, show the lower 48 how it's done.
And it can be, because, you know, one of the things about America, as you're no doubt familiar with outside of Alaska, 85% of our offshore area is off limits to resource development. We're the only country in the entire world that keeps that much of their resource base off limits. It doesn't make any sense. Why should we import 70% of our oil from Hugo Chavez in Venezuela and President Ahmadinejad in Iran?
They all just are going to plant those little, in the same reserves actually.
Well, as we discourage development of our resources, China is going around the world trying to buy up as much oil as they can because they recognize that commodities, and energy commodities in particular, are going to be the source of power and control in the future.
We're sending you to Washington, Bruce. That's all there is to it.
Well,
thank you again for being with us today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.